What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're here with Mike Aikins, and he's going to talk about a system that a lot of us are involved in as men, and whether voluntary or involuntary. And he wrote a book about it. It's all about child support. So, Mike, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Hey, thank you for allowing me to be here.
All right, let's get into that conversation of child support because it's always touchy. The men feel a certain way with that. You know, the women come in and they have their feelings with that, and then you only have maybe a certain section of women that understand the horror of it. But you explain to us a little bit what made you write that book about child support.
Wow. Man, I tell you, I'm smiling now, but man, I tell you, I've been through years and years and years of suffering through this system because it's such an unjust system. I mean, there's no justification, there's no justice on the side of the non-custodial parent. And basically, the way the system is designed is they take you to a temporary hearing, a temporary orders hearing in the early part of your divorce proceedings, and they're going to quickly designate the man as the non-custodial parent. And once they do that, you're the obligee of a Title IV contract. And whether you realize it or not, you've just signed your life away for 18 years or from the time that your kids turn 18. It's a financial contract that is so overwhelming. A lot of people don't really understand what they're getting into because the way I got into it, Philip, I mean, I'm an upstanding guy. I'm a tax-paying citizen. I felt like, hey, look, I'm going to support my kids. I'm going through a divorce, but yeah, I want to support my kids. I'm not trying to be a deadbeat dad. I'm not trying to run from my responsibility. I'm trying to take care of my kids. But what happens is when you get in this system, it is designed to make you fail. They want you to be they want you to get into arrears. They want you to get behind on your payments so that they can add on interest, penalties, and all of this kind of stuff. And what they do is they go out and they put these call centers up around everywhere. So now you're calling into a call center and you got thousands of other people making money off of your back, And the sad part about the whole situation is your ex might not even be getting that money that they're garnishing from your check. And I know it's hard to believe, but what happens is there's two different accounting systems, okay? There's Title IV-A over here, which is like the old welfare system. And then there's Title IV-D over here, which is basically just the garnishments that they're taking out of your check. So it's two different accounting systems. And they work independently, but all of the money goes to the state. So you can slow me down at any point, interject, ask questions, and
Well,
I can
yeah,
kind of,
I have just a few questions for you.
okay.
In your opinion, why do you feel they automatically make the man the non-custodial parent? Why do they do that?
Okay, so they do it for money. Okay, they do it because the system has absolutely zero rights for the non-custodial parent. Okay, zero. When you're designated an obligor and you're designated the non-custodial parent, all of your rights are taken away. So now you have to pay the system. So what Texas does, because I've been in the Texas system, and let me point out, Texas is number one in child support collections, number one in the whole entire United States. Okay, but there are a couple of different ways that they go about doing it. See, Texas is a is a fault-based system. You have no fault divorce and you have fault-based divorce. Okay, what Texas does, Texas is going to come in and try to make it seem like there's some family violence or there's some kind of reason why you're unfit to be the parent of those kids or you're unfit to get 50-50 custody. And man, let me tell you something. They'll do it underhandedly. The way they did it to me, they put it on my case, And I didn't even know that they had put it on there. We never even went to court and talked about it. And then all of a sudden, like maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 court cases down the line, I looked at the paperwork and it showed that, oh, family violence has occurred. I'm like, what? We never went to court about having any family violence in my divorce or anything like that, but they had it there in my case as if that actually occurred. So this is what they do. They will make it obvious that you're unfit, the man, the non-custodial man. What they want to do is designate you as non-fit, unfit, to be those kids' parents, to get 50-50 joint or shared custody. And then, so what they do is they funnel all that money back through the custodial parent, which is the mother. And the whole system is designed for her. When we go to court, when we go to a Title 4D hearing, we don't get to say anything, okay? We don't get to, even if we have a lawyer, sometimes we will not even get to speak on our own behalf. And the system is so stacked against the non-custodial parent because that's how they make all of their money. So you talk about no-fault divorce and you talk about fault divorce, fault-based divorce. And Texas is a fault-based divorce system, whereas you have about 9 different states that are no-fault divorce. But they still find a way to separate the father from those kids and make him non-custodial so that they can funnel all the money back through to the custodial parent, which is the way the system is designed.
Well, like I said, I went through, divorce in Texas. I went through, like I said, child support. I also went through child custody in Texas. Okay. And from what my experience is, the standard possession order that they give you isn't, really a lot of leeway for you. I agree with you on that. Now, the situation where you say they put a family violence, I guess you was going through a divorce, correct?
Right.
Okay. So what evidence did they have that you had any kind of family violence? What is it? Police was called to the house one time because y'all was arguing, or what was it?
Exactly. Police called to the house one time. We had an argument, and that's really what led to the divorce. But it was never like discussed in a court case. It was never like we never went to court and decided if, in fact, that was like legitimate.
Okay.
It was just
so basically that's where they got that from. Because when the police come to your house, anything with some sort of domestic dispute, they'll go with that to try to. Not to say that you was convicted of anything, not to say that it could just be the police coming to the house and say, hey, y'all calm down or whatever, we're going to take somebody to jail, right? But they still going to try to go that route because, like you said, they want the mom to have the children and because they're going to make more money off the mother than they would off of the father. Because a lot of men, including myself, will be like, look, if I got custody, you ain't got to pay child support.
Right.
A lot of men will say that. But with the women, they usually, of course, statistically, women make less than men. Then 9 times out of 10, they're going to collect the child support. Then the system going to charge that fee to the mother every year, right? And what's that fee? $25 or so they charge a year. Yeah. And all this free money goes to the state.
Absolutely. And the state does such a great job of confusing the obligee and the obligor as to exactly who's running the system. Okay. So the Office of Child Support Enforcement up in Washington, D.C. basically gives the state control of their system. So, and it's funny because, it starts at the police level. Because let me tell you what happened to me, and I can tell you this has happened to several other guys that I have talked to as well. One of my buddies told me, this is the same exact thing happened to me. When that police came out on that domestic dispute that time, it was no violence, no punches being thrown, no nothing. It's just my ex decided to call the police because she thought she could get me in trouble and get the edge. If we did have a divorce case, she would have some dirt on me. Okay. So with that being said, they came out. But here's what the police told me and told my friend and tells every other man. And this is why I say it starts at the grassroots level of the police force, because they're basically independent subcontractors of the whole Title 4D system. Okay, so what the police told me was, man, you should get a divorce. If y'all gonna be doing this kind of stuff, you should just go ahead and get a divorce. I mean, policemen are out there advocating divorce. Now, this policeman came out to my house. He hasn't witnessed any punches being thrown. He hasn't witnessed any child abuse. He hasn't witnessed any wife abuse, any husband abuse, anything. But the first thing he says is, man, y'all should just get a divorce, because if y'all gonna be having us coming out for this kind of stuff, y'all should just go ahead and get a divorce. And the reason why he does that is because the whole entire system, from the time that they serve you papers and serve you a subpoena or whatever, a court order, put it on your door or bring it to your job for you to come to court and all that, is based on him being employed as a subcontractor for the Title D contract.
Right. So for me, I'm real different about even making threats to me about calling the police, because for how I feel just as a black man, if you calling the police, you're trying to call in my murder. That's how I look at it. I don't look at no interaction with the police as just routine, because we know as black men, it could be something simple as that, and it could be 100 bullets put in you. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So for me, I'm so serious about that. I'm like, if a woman even think about picking up the phone and call police, leave. I said, because to me, if you don't call them, you might as well just go ahead and say you tried to kill me that day. You know what I'm saying? I'm very serious about that. And I tell every black man, have that attitude, because all this, I'm going to call the cops, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, there was no reason for that. No, matter of fact, hell no.
Right.
You know.
You're right. You're right about that, brother. I mean, because half of the women right now, they know that all the laws are skewed in their favor. Okay. Mm-hmm. They know that the man has absolutely zero, rights or anything when it comes down to, like the police told me when he came out, he said, if there were punches being thrown, I don't care if she threw one against you or you threw one against her, somebody got to go down because we got called out. Okay. And in our situation, there were no punches thrown. So he couldn't say that. But what he recommended was, hey, man, you really ought to consider getting a divorce if this is going to be a consistent problem, if she's going to be calling the police on you and da-da-da-da-da. But what that does is that sends you down like that proverbial rabbit hole, because when you get to court and stuff like that, man, and you go through the child support system, the Title 4D system, it's basically skewed to cause one parent to be unfit so that they can funnel all of the economic, what I want to call it, everything that's in their advantage to making money off of you. They're going to take advantage of you because of that situation.
I believe that anytime you're dealing with divorce and anything, that you should never step foot in court without legal representation. I mean, I'm talking about a legal representation that's used to defending men with divorce and child support. That's just first and foremost. Now, I didn't have, my situation wasn't no punches thrown, nothing like that. It was just, me and her just, wasn't getting along anymore. And we decided to go that route. It was best for the both of us. And, right. Like for my situation is that, I never been through anything like that at all. And then they automatically, like you said, they give the woman the child, didn't even ask me about custody or anything. And then, if you're a brother that's making some decent amount of money, they'll put not only child support on you, but they'll put temporary spousal support on you as well.
Absolutely.
Of course, if you have a decent job, and some brothers do, I'm talking about now, you ain't got a job making money like that, you ain't got to worry about that. But the more money you make as a man, the worse you're going to fare in family court. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I tell people this, family court is the only court I believe in America where racism really don't exist like that. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because they'll hit a white guy with them same numbers as much as they hit brothers. I've seen it.
Yes.
And they don't care. Now, criminal court, it's all racism there.
Right.
If you're a white person, you can do whatever. Black man,
Right.
he get locked up, what, 10, 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when,
Yeah.
when it comes to collecting that money, and they get more white guys on that money than they get us.
Absolutely, man. Have you heard lately Kenny Smith of TNT and even Kevin Garnett? You know their wives are taking them to the cleaners on this stuff.
I heard Kevin Garnett supposed to be paying like $100,000 in spousal support.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
You
heard.
know. And
Yeah,
I mean, but we go back to like some of the things that you were discussing earlier, man. It's just the whole system is skewed toward making the man, the victim. He's the proverbial unfit parent. We're gonna give the kids to the mother under any circumstances. They don't even look into the real circumstances. Like if that man is taking those kids to school, if he's taking care of them, if he has
they
them
don't care
50% of the
about
time,
that. They don't care about any of that. All they care about is that money. I'm talking about
is
the court
that
system.
money?
That's all they
Is
care
that
about. But
money?
like say with my situation when I had went up for like a review of child support or whatever,
Uh-huh.
I had a surplus of $1,400. I didn't owe any money. I had a surplus.
Right.
And at the time period, because I was getting bonuses on my job, the job would still send a portion of that bonus
Right.
to the child support. So that's how I got
Oh,
the,
they
the
hate that.
overage,
They hate
right?
that.
It was an
Yeah.
overage. So the judge was like, at the time, he was like, he said, I really, appreciate, how you take care of your business. He said, I see you got an overage. He said, I don't see too many people coming here like that.
Right.
So he said, I really commend you on, your situation. And then when he set my new child support, he backdated with the new child support that he had ordered from the time we started the case, which was like about 7, 8 months. So
Right.
I went from having a overage of $1,400 of child support to now owing $7,000 worth of child support. And I'm looking at him like, what? I understand the
See?
new child support starts right here, but why are you
Exactly.
backdating it? So what you
That
said about that arrears or whatever,
yes.
yeah, I cleared it up or whatever. But the
Right.
fact is, and how I had to clear it up was they tacked on, well, they gave me the new child support and they said, okay, in addition, you got to pay this extra, right? And then they
Right.
put that mess on your credit report, but it showed that I pay my stuff on time every month. But the
Right.
fact is, it's on your credit report that you
Absolutely.
paying child support, and that sometimes hurts you.
Philip, do you know that this whole system, bro? Let me share something with you, man. I don't know if you know this or not. A lot of people don't, but I've been going through this for about 22 years. Okay, the judges that oversee, that preside in a Title 4D. See, Title 4D is totally different from a regular court system. Okay, you got to understand what the dynamics that you're dealing with. Okay, in Title 4D court, those are not real judges. They don't even put your hand up. I solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, for help me God. They don't go by any of those types of procedures. Okay, it's because they're not real judges. All they are what they call judge impersonators. They are sent there by the administrative branch of government, not the judicial branch. These are not the people that we vote into office. We vote in judges. Judges appoint associate judges. Okay? Judges have to recluse themselves from your case because of conflict of interest, because they're getting paid out of the money that comes out of the child support system. So they can't technically hear one of your cases. So what they do, they recluse themselves of your case and they appoint an associate judge to hear your case. But what you're dealing with in terms of an associate judge is someone from the administrative branch of government. They're not even from the judicial branch, and they're just a judge impersonator. They don't even know anything about procedures in the court. They're just there to collect money from you, man. And I'm telling you, brother, it is the biggest scam going on right now. Because people don't even, let me tell you something, man. If you go down to a Title 4D hearing in Dallas, Texas, which is where everything started for me. They have their own section of the courtroom labeled Title 4D. It's not even like the other sections of the court for family court. They got their own section. They go by their own set of rules. You cannot even bring a witness into your case. If I'm going to court, trust me, bro, I've been in there about 10 times. They will not even let me bring a witness into and hear what's being done to me. Okay? They arrested me 3 times, man, over some BS. I lost every job
well,
that
you say,
going
hold
into
on. You say you was arrested 3 times. What were they arresting you for?
What they call it is contempt of court.
Okay, so they did a contempt of court on you for what?
It don't have to. It could be whatever the judge's discretion is. He can say
Well, I mean, well, I can tell you, was it a motion of enforcement? What was it?
Well, of course, I was behind on support.
Okay. You were behind. Well, were you working with the Attorney General to try to, make payments, or how did that work out?
Absolutely, man. I'm bringing them check stubs. I'm showing them, hey, look, I'm working this job. The price you got me paying right now, I can't afford. Here are my check
I have another
stubs.
question about that, because like I said, this is something I'm extremely passionate about too. So when I had lost some employment, right, and my child support at that time period was like $900 some odd a month. Right. And I had lost that particular job. Immediately when I lost that job, I did my research to go on my own, and I didn't have a lawyer, and I filed for a modification, because in the state of Texas, if your income increased by 20% or decreased by 20%, you can get a modification of child support. Now, did you get a modification of child support?
Man, it's like this, bro. If that judge is having a bad day and he don't want to give you no modification, he ain't finna give you no modification, brother. I don't care what the law says.
I disagree, because they got to go by the state law. And the state,
Man, no,
I read this law. I read this law on my own, and they even went in the child support office. It was like, nah, we got to grant this modification. I mean, if you don't agree, we got to go before the judge, but we got to grant it based off of what he's making now versus what we see here. He said this is because everything I try to do is through the laws, because I was even almost thinking about going to school to become a family law attorney, because I had studied the Texas law so deep about like how they can get you, how they can get you. Look, in the state of Texas, I'm telling you how cold they are here. You miss one payment of child support, they can do a motion of enforcement on you.
Absolutely.
You don't have to get to 3 or 4 payments.
Scott, let me tell you something, brother. I took my case to the Supreme Court
of Texas.
Okay, Supreme Court.
Oh, U.S. Supreme Court,
Western District, whatever that is in Dallas. Okay. I took my case to the Supreme Court off of the way they did me.
Okay.
They didn't give me due process. They threw the book at me. I lost every job I had when I was going in. They arrested me 3 times, made me stay in jail 6 times. 6 days each time. I lost every job I had prior to going into the court, and I had a lawyer with me each time, and they still arrested me and forced me to lose my job. They do this because they can do whatever they want to do. It's not like what you just said about the law this and the law that. Bro, this is a total different set of dynamics. It's Title 4D, and it's child support, and it's family court, but it's Title 4D. They can do whatever they want to do. When I escalated it to the Supreme Court of Texas, they dismissed my case on this technicality called the Rooker-Feldman Doctrine. Okay? So the Rooker-Feldman Doctrine means that they're not going to go back and overturn anything that the state did to you if they injured you, whether blatantly or not, negligently or not. They're not going to overturn any state's decision, regardless of how many times you escalated to the Supreme Court. Okay? Brother, that's why I wrote the book, man. Because what I want to do is I want to show brothers how to not even get down to because once you get in that rabbit hole, man, you can't get out. It's impossible.
Oh, like I said, I know about that system for sure. Like I was telling you, before. But
Right.
so basically, like I said, that's why I've always have a thing about not owing no money to child support, because I know that is the quickest way to have issues and problems. I always tell brothers, if you own
Absolutely.
that child support, man, pay your child support. If you can, get ahead on child support if you can,
Right.
and talk with them people. Matter of fact,
You right.
I had got advice like, hey, if you get a raise on a job, call the attorney general office, tell them you got a raise on your job so it can be documented.
Yeah.
And this is how I was told. The reason why you need to do that is because, let's say, if the other parent want to take you to court and say, oh, he got a raise, then that will avoid you from paying like attorney fees. You was already reporting to them that you got a raise on your job.
You right, brother Scott. You are
So
you are
most people,
100%
most
correct.
men don't know these little small things that I'm saying. Then also with your situation, now was she like calling the attorney general to get at you? Because usually from what I see about the attorney general themselves, like it takes a little bit for them to start getting at you. Usually they say, hey, come talk to us. Hey, come do this, come do that. Hey, you need to do something. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, was
Yeah.
it that situation with you?
Yeah, my ex was very vindictive cause really,
Okay.
yeah,
Say no more. Now I know why you
yeah,
had problems. Because
yeah,
when
a
people
woman
listen to this,
scorned.
this is why I'm asking these questions. When people listen to this, that's not going to be everybody's situation.
That's
But
true.
I mean, because your situation is basically y'all weren't getting along. She was trying to get at you, and see that kind of situation make a man say, you know what? I'm just some men get to that point and say like, if you and that kid, I'm leaving
Right.
the state because I can't live
Yeah,
like this.
right.
So, and some that's why then that same parent want to say, oh, well, he don't want to take care of his kid. No, you're not telling the story how you using
Right.
this court system to literally oppress this man. Like any little
Right.
thing this man do, you bring this man into these white folks court, and you already know how it is with that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And at the end of the day, who loses out? The children. The children.
Exactly. Brother Scott, I had a lawyer that I wouldn't got me a black female lawyer. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking that's gonna help me a little bit, okay? Because she might know how to deal with my ex and her lawyer a little bit better. That backfired. Do you know this lady walked out of court and left me in there by myself to deal with these people?
Now, I don't know
I
what kind
mean,
of
it
lawyer
is
you pick,
just
because my lawyer that I have is a black female.
right,
When they tried to do that, when they was the judge trying to set all that money back on me, like saying I owed all this money, and I had the credit, my lawyer argued with that judge at least a good 10 minutes about that credit. He said, okay, well, he needs that $1,400 credit. And he didn't want to give it to me. And my lawyer was arguing and arguing and arguing. I was watching. I say, "Oh shoot!" I
you
was
had
getting
a
to the point
great
like,
lawyer,
"Oh
man.
man, he
You had,
gonna get me was for something." I said, "This girl, is she arguing too much?" But he
brother,
had to concede. He had to concede.
brother,
Say she's right. And the attorney general say, "No, it's right here." He did have a credit, so he had no choice because he didn't want to give it to me. So I
brother.
mean,
That's
yeah.
rare. That's rare. Your situation is rare, man. The
Mm-hmm.
majority of the guys out here, they don't have a good lawyer. They don't have a good lawyer like what you had. And their situation was not like yours in terms of you being on the upside of the child support payment system. Most guys are in arrears automatically because that's what the system is designed to do, is to force you into that rabbit hole. Most guys go out and get a lawyer. Those lawyers, their oath is to the bar association and to the court system and to the judges. And this is something else I found out. Okay, my lawyer told this is the very first lawyer I got, man, back in 2001 when I the first lawyer I got when I was going through my divorce cases. You know what she had the audacity to tell me and divulge to me? She told me, she said, "Man, it don't have nothing to do with your situation." She said, "It's all about the judge I get to hear this case, and if I owe them a favor or they owe me a favor."
Yeah, that part of that is true. If that lawyer is like donating to that judge's
The judge's
campaign,
reelection
and
campaign.
those lawyers are like tied in like that, that's where all the corruption comes in. That with that particular situation, because I end up figuring out
Thank
through
you.
my case that the lawyer that my ex had, he would donate to that judge's campaign, and that's what my
Thank
lawyer
you.
found out. And I was like, oh
See,
shoot. You know what I'm
Conflict of
saying?
interest.
But that judge
Conflict
is
of
gone
interest.
now. That judge got voted
Yeah.
out. Like when they had that big wave in Harris County of all the Republicans being voted out and all the Democrat judges and came in. So
Did the
he was
same
one of
thing
them.
in Dallas.
Really?
Yes. Did the same exact thing in Dallas. And it's amazing how that happens, all of a sudden. But man, let me tell you, it's gonna take some serious legislature
Oh yeah.
from the president down or something. Somebody gonna have to come in. I wrote Barack Obama when he was the president. I wrote him a very, very a good letter explaining all my details. He responded back. Of course, it wasn't him. It was probably one of his assistants.
Yeah.
But they forwarded me back to the Office of Child Support Enforcement or Human Services, whatever that federal office is in Washington, D.C., is it what they referred me back to. So it was almost like it was a waste of time. So I
Right.
wasted
Well,
time.
for me with this system, you have to be proactive because the reason why they hit you with arrears the moment that the mom go file is because let's say you left the house and we say right now July, and she go file child support September, where they gonna hit you for August because you probably not gonna get a hearing date or whatever to maybe October, November. So they're gonna be hitting you all that time. So what if you're gonna do as a man, whether it's divorce or whether you left the house, you as the man, I would suggest you get a lawyer and then you file the case on yourself and then go ahead and start the process with those people. Because if you're not proactive with that system, from what I see, then they're going to have the upper hand on you. And then also in court, it makes you look better as a man, even though it's still hard to look good as a man. But it's still when they say, oh, he filed it on himself. Oh, okay. Oh, he already paying. Okay. Well, that's kind of like how they look at it. Even the situation with, you say talking about the custody, like if you really want, better custody. I don't know if you know about the expanded possession order. I don't know if you know or you wrote about that in your book, but that's what I have because when I went to, me and my ex was going back and forth about custody and everything. And I didn't get custody, but they ended up giving me expanded possession order where you have like your child from Thursday evening all the way to Monday morning.
Right.
And then you get 45 days in the summer instead of 30 days in the summer. I mean, if you so chose, but you have to write your ex and tell them about the extra days. And like you had, and it was put in there, mine had to be off. I don't know if you know about this app called Our Family Wizard, where that's the way we had to communicate. Because it's sanctioned through the court to communicate. I'm pretty sure you know about that.
Yeah.
It was communication issue about my son, whatever. So it was put in that I had to, I wanted it in there that I had to get him a cell phone that I took care of. That way I can communicate. So what I'm saying is, because I don't want just people to hear gloom and doom. I want people to know that you can take charge as a parent in this system.
But let me ask you something, Mr. Scott. I mean, because you seem like I know you didn't get to be in the position you're in by being foolish and being a dummy. You seem to be a very articulate guy. But your situation, bro, I'm telling you, man, it's like you're rare. You're rare because the average guy that's going through this, man, he's getting hit with so much.
Oh, yeah.
He can't even do the things that you're talking about.
But brother, listen, I'm the type of person, I hear people's story. I don't just say, oh man, that's messed up. What I'm doing is listening to your story and making a lot of mental notes. So I say, I don't want to be that guy. That's anything that I do in life. So when I got in that particular system, right, not because I wanted to, matter of fact, I was mad that I was even put into that system. But I'm like, I believe the child support system should be for people that don't take care of the kids at all. And then they have to be forced to. But the system,
that's where it used to be.
Yeah, but the system automatically will put you in that system.
Right.
That's very corrupt. Like I said, the state's making money. The judges get money into their retirement for every child support case that they put down on the dockets, right? They sign off on. See, people don't know about that portion of it. So what I'm saying is to men is to be proactive. Because yes, we can talk about the horror stories, and I believe everything you're saying. There's been people that's always been locked up, losing this, losing that. State of Texas, you can't register your car, you lose your license. I mean, it's like
can't
cutting
get a
off
passport.
Yeah. If you owe $2,500 in back child support, they will suspend your passport, but you can owe I don't know how much money in taxes, and they won't suspend your passport. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it's utterly ridiculous how that system is. So that's why I tell men, look, be proactive, And then on top of that, don't owe money.
That's
Please. Right. And then be responsible with your children making. That's another thing. Because, you got some brothers out here making babies and whatever. And then now you talking about they're taking 50% of your check. Well, I mean,
right.
that just.
Well, that's the primary reason why I wrote the book, was to catch the guys before they get into the rabbit hole.
Right.
Because I got 15 proven remedies to save you thousands of dollars in child support, fees, penalties, and that whole entire rabbit hole. So you make a very good point.
Well, tell us how we can get that book, and the name, and is it on Amazon, or where is it at, so people can check it out?
Yes, it is on Amazon currently. It's being distributed worldwide. It's called A Simple Guide to Child Support Redemption by Mike R. Aikins. I have a few reviews out there on it and everything, but if you just type in A Simple Guide to Child Support Redemption, Amazon, it'll pop right up. Now, you can buy 2 different versions of the book. You can get it in paperback, or you can get it in Kindle. And right now I'm in the process of creating an Audible version as well. I also have a website, not a website, but a YouTube page where I have several instructional videos that help guys that are struggling with child support issues. If they just go on to my website, Author Mike R. Aikins, and just look at some of the instructional videos, it'll help them as well. And then I have a mobile application right now that's in development that once that comes out, it's going to be called Child Support Made Simple. And you just hit that mobile app, you get on there, man. I got the child support manual in there. I got all of these different things, these different remedies for situations that occur while you're going through the child support process.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out, the book. We'll put the links and everything there. Just like some of my advice, I would say just be proactive with that situation. Don't let them people come after you. You go and put yourself on child support. Don't. I'm telling you, because they just screw you at the end of the day. And also, a good attorney is definitely important for you. So if you live in the Houston area and you need an attorney, I can turn you on to my attorney. She, that sister will fight. Trust me. I was highly recommended for her from another brother, how she had handled them folks in court. So I said, well, give me her number. You know what I'm saying? So if you need her number or her name, or a matter of fact, I'll just put her website in the pinned comment. And then you guys, if you need legal services, go, talk to her, and she'll definitely, help you out, with that situation. She don't charge her arm and a leg either. So that's a great thing about her. She's also now a personal friend of the family. So
wow, that's big time.
Yeah. She's personal friend of the family now, so it's a great thing. That's why I recommend everybody to her. Some people say, man, I went to the lawyer, you told me, she helped me out, man. I'm like, yeah, I told you, so she got her way around that courthouse in there. So yeah. I'll make sure I leave that. So, Mike, thank you for coming on the show and talking about a relevant topic.
Brother Philip, God bless you, man.
I appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir. And, just keep educating out there, because a lot of men need to know about that system. That's one system that get you so jammed up so quick, you wouldn't know, where your head is spinning.
I'm telling you, it'll take the best of us, man, and send you down that rabbit hole.
Yes, sir.